There is a moment quiet, invisible to the world, when a human being stands at a crossroads that will never appear in history books as a dramatic scene, yet determines the entire trajectory of their life. No trumpets sound, no crowd gathers, no one applauds. It is simply a decision, formed in the private chamber of the mind, where fear and faith wrestle for control. Most people never recognize this moment when it arrives. They mistake it for uncertainty. They confuse it with danger. They call it bad timing. And so they retreat. But once in a generation, a man or woman sees that moment clearly and chooses the opposite of the crowd. That choice is rarely comfortable. It does not feel safe. It does not feel logical. It feels lonely. It feels heavy. And yet, it is the very decision that separates the ordinary from the legendary. Sir John Templeton stood in such a moment while the world was trembling. Markets were collapsing. Headlines screamed panic. Fear moved faster than reason. Fortunes evaporated overnight, and intelligent men swore the system itself was broken. To most people, survival meant pulling back, preserving what little remained, waiting for clarity. But Templeton understood something timeless, something Napoleon Hill wrote about decades earlier, something Edison lived by, something Ford was ridiculed for, something every great fortune is built upon. When fear dominates the masses, opportunity hides in plain sight. This was not optimism. It was not recklessness. It was not blind hope. It was disciplined thinking. It was mastery over emotion. It was the ability to separate what is happening from what people believe is happening. And that distinction, subtle, profound, life-altering, is where billionaires are born. The world teaches you to react. Templeton learned to decide. While others asked, "How bad can this get?" he asked, "How wrong is the crowd?" While others searched for safety, he searched for value. While others allowed emotion to dictate action, he allowed principle to dictate emotion. And in that silent, solitary decision, made when no one was watching and everyone else was afraid, the foundation of extraordinary wealth was laid. Napoleon Hill taught that every great achievement begins with a definite decision, backed by unwavering belief. Not a wish, not a preference, a decision so firm that the mind reorganizes itself around it. Templeton's decision was not merely to invest during panic, it was to trust his own reasoning when the world was shouting him down. This is where most people fail, not because they lack intelligence, but because they lack inner authority. They outsource their thinking to headlines, to crowds, to experts who sound confident but are just as afraid. They look for permission to move. They wait for certainty in a world that never provides it. Templeton understood that certainty is not found outside, it is created inside. Belief, in its purest form, is not optimism. It is conviction anchored in understanding. Templeton believed in the long arc of human progress, in enterprise, in innovation, in resilience. He believed markets fall, but human ingenuity rises. He believed panic is temporary, but value is enduring. And because he believed this deeply, not emotionally, but intellectually and philosophically, he could act while others froze. This is the difference between the man who survives history and the man who shapes it. History does not reward those who wait for perfect conditions. It rewards those who recognize imperfect moments as invitations. Carnegie built steel when others feared industrial expansion. Edison tested thousands of failures because he believed light was inevitable. Disney was bankrupt, ridiculed, dismissed, yet he saw a future others could not imagine. Lincoln lost election after election, but held a vision larger than public opinion. Templeton joined this lineage not by chance, but by choice. The mind, when undisciplined, becomes a prisoner of circumstance. When disciplined, it becomes an instrument of destiny. Templeton disciplined his mind to see cycles instead of chaos, principles instead of panic, probabilities instead of predictions. He understood that markets are reflections of human emotion, swinging between greed and fear, exaggerating both success and failure. And where emotion exaggerates, opportunity hides. Most people think courage is loud. They think it announces itself with bold gestures and dramatic speeches. But real courage is quiet. It is the ability to sit alone with your reasoning while the world tells you that you are wrong. It is the strength to act without applause. It is the willingness to look foolish today in order to be free tomorrow. Templeton did not feel fearless. He felt uncertainty like everyone else. The difference was that he did not obey it. Napoleon Hill warned that fear is the most destructive force known to man, not because it feels intense, but because it paralyzes decision. Fear whispers, wait. Faith responds, act with intelligence. Templeton listened to the latter. He understood another principle most never grasp. Money is a byproduct of service to reality, not reaction to illusion. When the crowd sells in panic, prices fall below intrinsic value. That gap between price and value is where fortune is created. But to step into that gap, one must step out of the crowd. And stepping out of the crowd requires something rarer than capital. It requires character. Character is the ability to hold a long-term vision while surrounded by short-term noise. It is the discipline to delay gratification. It is the refusal to let emotion masquerade as logic. Templeton trained himself to ask better questions than most people ever consider. Not what is everyone doing, but why are they doing it? Not what do I feel, but what do the facts suggest over time? This is why his decision mattered so profoundly. It was not a single trade. It was a declaration of identity. It said, I'm not governed by panic. I'm not ruled by crowds. I'm not defined by this moment. And once you make such a declaration, your actions align, your habits follow, your results compound. Napoleon Hill wrote that the subconscious mind accepts what the conscious mind repeatedly believes. Templeton believed in disciplined Contrarian thinking. Over time, that belief became instinct. What once required courage became second nature. He did not chase excitement. He sought mispricing. He did not worship trends. He studied cycles. He did not fear downturns. He prepared for them. The average mind seeks comfort. The exceptional mind seeks truth. Comfort says, do what feels safe. Truth says, do what is right. Templeton chose truth again and again, even when it felt uncomfortable, even when it felt isolating. And the reward for that choice was not just wealth, but clarity, a rare form of freedom that comes from self-trust. Self-trust is the currency of greatness. Without it, talent is wasted, intelligence is muted, opportunity is missed. With it, even modest resources can be transformed into extraordinary outcomes. Templeton began with no guarantee, no certainty, no applause, only a clear decision anchored in principle. This is where the lesson turns inward, where history stops being a story and becomes a mirror. Because the same forces that terrified the world then still operate today. Fear still dominates headlines. Crowds still overreact. Panic still disguises itself as wisdom. And somewhere, right now, there is a decision waiting to be made in the quiet chamber of your mind. Will you follow the noise, or will you follow understanding? Will you react, or will you decide? Will you seek comfort, or will you claim clarity? Templeton's greatness did not come from predicting the future. It came from preparing his mind. He did not need to know exactly when markets would recover. He knew that they would because human progress always does. That belief allowed him to act decisively when others hesitated endlessly.